Look at that.
Ta-da! You know what it is? It's a 27mm autofocus 2.8 lens from TTArtisan. What's good about this? First, the price, $149. Second, autofocus on third-party lens. And the third thing is tiny. So let's test it, let's find out, I'll tell you all about this.
What's the autofocus like?
You know, it's actually pretty good. What I can tell you that anything from mid-range to infinity, it's spot on, behaves like a Nikon lens. Now, when I'm trying to focus on my hand, it's a little bit slows down, but that's because it kind of becomes close focus distances. So it just gets slightly out of area and then slowly refocusing there. Again, for $150 lens to be on par with the Nikon lenses and just have maybe tiny bit slow down in the close focusing distance, I think it's an incredible achievement by third-party manufacturers. It's a lot of uncomfortable positions with Becky. It's like, I would need to see a chiropractor to your workshop.
Need to do some calisthenics or something. Okay, so closest focusing distance is about 30 centimeters. You don't have a distance scale on this, so there's no way to know for sure, but that's what I'm guessing. That's not too bad for a general purpose, you know, for a 40mm, 30 centimeters is quite nice and close.
Yeah, price of $149, did I mention that?
I think you mentioned it once or twice.
Just want people know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can do this versus 600 f4. I mean, that's one of the comparisons we can do, but...
I'm sure that people will ask us to compare it with the 600 f4.
Because why not?
How does it compare with the 58mm not?
That's about 90% what 58 does.
Basically the same thing.
All right, let's talk about sensor sharpness. Sensor sharpness is pretty good for this lens. It is soft-ish at 2.8. It glows a little bit, but usable for social media and stuff like this. And then it's significantly improved by f4 and stop down further. So Becky, tell us about the flowers this season. Is that the right time?
This is the perfect season for flowers. This is when it's happening. This is when it's all happening. All your hard work from the winter is paid off and everything is blooming.
Wonderful.
To get used to the fact that it's a 40mm, basically. I look at it and I think, oh, 27, it's going to be wide. But because it's a DX lens, it's actually the equivalent of about a 39-40 f2.8. It is a useful walkabout, actually.
Yeah, we do love a good 40.
We do.
Okay, let's talk about vignetting a little bit. So it vignettes heavily at 2.8, and then it kind of stops down to about 6.3, but it never goes away after this. So if you want to shoot with as least vignetting as possible, then 6.3 or more will give you that shot, but it never goes away, unfortunately. So keep that in mind. And for the price, it's something that I'm not going to be bothered too much about.
I've just realized that the lens has an A on the aperture ring. That A is essentially auto, which allows you to then change your aperture through the camera. So I've been shooting this whole time, changing my aperture manually.
Well, yeah, a little bit old-fashioned, isn't it?
Like a fool. Anyway, so I'm happy about that. That means that for those of you that do want to put the camera on program, then you can.
The young people like us. So a couple of things to note. This is a pre-production mode that we're testing right now. One thing we've noticed that the actually startup with this lens on the camera is slower compared with the Nikon lens on. So that's something to keep in mind. It can potentially be improved with the firmware update, we'll find out in the future, but actually the rear cap that lens comes with has a USB socket, so it gives us hope for the future firmware. So let's talk about the price a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things that will probably be asked is, what is it like in comparison to the Nikon 28 at 2.8? But the thing is that is a full frame lens, so it's a difficult comparison to make. This is DX, it's for your Z30, your Z50, and your ZFC.
Both autofocus. 28 is going to be a little bit sharper, but it's $100 more. And the thing is, on this channel, we've been recording the lenses from costing £15,000 as well as £150. And in terms of this, there's some lenses for some people who can afford them, and there's some people who just start with photography and enjoy them.
Exactly. So if you're starting out, then this is a really nice option, I would say. It has a lot going for it. The fact that you can shoot in full auto if you want to is great. Autofocus is pretty speedy for a lens of this type, and it's also a metal mount, so you're not losing anything there. It's not cheaply made at all.
Yeah, so metal mount at $150 is definitely something to think about.
That's right. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to TTArtisan for sending us this lens to test out. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you have too.
If you found this video super useful and it potentially made your decision of purchasing this lens or not, there's a super thanks button as well, so feel free to hit it as well.
That's right, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Needs to be stopped down. Oops, my sunglasses are falling off my head. One moment, please.
Tip number one, when you do flower photography, don't use your sunglasses.
Don't wear sunglasses that will just fall off your head. Okay. Literally, like, let me just stand right there and you're that didn't make it any better. Because I'm worth it.
Yeah, you're gonna get that deal, the ad deal.
I don't think so somehow.